Well, hello up here. This right here will be a drawing right here that I went and put together right here about a year ago whenever I was drawing this. I can remember that I think it was around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning whenever I was drawing this picture and mainly talking about how people meet and then about how much support that they can give to one another. And let's just say if the situation goes by saying this is to where that yeah, if you're gonna maybe have like a profile through Audible or maybe a Amazon or some account like that, and then somebody's going to read it, and maybe they're just this person is not going to quite understand all what you were working on until that they actually see you and meet you in person. And let's just say that maybe if it is at the mall or maybe at the airport or maybe at the local library or somewhere, that this person is going to whenever you actually meet this person in person, then chances are that they're gonna be like say that yeah, that the source of feelings that maybe that they would have, all that. But still that whenever I found this and the paperwork that I was going through tonight, I was thinking too is to where that some of these drawings, and in case that there's somebody who that might that you look at it and want to know just a little bit too is to what that's all about. This supposed to be right here is supposed to be about what you call that a moment to where it was supposed to be a prom date or something, but still though that you have right here is this picture right here. If this was right here is an example right here of me, and let's just say there was somebody else holding my hand right there, and I can say that that would be my left hand right there. But you see right here that yeah, with my right hand, and I know I'm right-handed, so well, I know too that by how many times is that to where that the lady's right hand would be around at the back, as I say, yeah, the special type of a support that ladies would give to one another. But how often is it usually that they rub your back and then maybe pat you on the back, maybe by the shoulders or something like that. You're using their left arm or using their right arm. But you have right here this right here that shows like a source of support, though. So the way I was drawing this was mainly talking about that in person, and I will include it right here is talk about for in person for 4:30. So let's just say that but maybe every each day or so that I know that I don't know if anybody has really tried that to where by every each day by if you count by the time to where by every afternoon or so around 4:30, then there's which call this special treatment it is. And with the special treatment is toward it's somebody that just to be able to make it easier to remember that somebody's going to call about 4:30 or something like that, just to be able to follow up or maybe to see how you're doing, and as well as hey, that anything else that you want to talk about, if you're trying to maybe get something off your mind, and something's on your mind, and somebody to talk to you, something like that. But still, I know that whenever I was drawing this, I was mainly drawing this just show is toward it, from if it is what you call anything about what you call that you come in a situation to where that if you're working real hard and trying to get something done and all the other matters that goes by is as to where that to be able to how to explain to somebody about how you feel, and then they explain about how they feel. And this person noted in case of anybody that says is to where that you come in that situation to where that this person who's trying to be as supportive as they can to me, and want to know just a little bit too is to where that do they get a better understanding about what you're upset about and what you want to talk about if they see you actually in person. So it's just like as to where that yeah, they have a few crayons and markers around, and what I know is like you draw a picture of maybe about this special moment, and let's just say though that in person, there's something about in person that would think is to where like anybody say that yeah, that whenever you're able to talk to this person in person, that they're able to get a better understanding about what the problem is, or maybe anything on your mind. So yeah, that because if they're going to be looking maybe at a paper or something like that, then a possibility I might that yeah, that if you're maybe a cooking recipe, they're like want to know just a little bit too to work cooking recipes or something like that. that this person don't really understand the full story until that they actually talk to you in person. But still, that in person, I used to say that, yeah, well, in person, you're not really looking at a resume or a cover letter or any sorts of a document that you were stating to where that, okay, this is what the problem is, and that you would start out the sentence to where that use something, anything what you call it, a source of languages to where that, I'm experiencing a lot of problems or something like that. So yeah, whenever you begin a sentence, whenever you write a paper about something that's on your mind, and maybe if you're really under a lot of stress and maybe anxiety or anything like that, that you want to have some support and anything to get somebody's attention, and you're gonna maybe start the sentence by saying, "Listen here." Or something like that, or it could also be about for whoever that's reading this or something like that. But still, I know that looking at this right here, that I included right here is the heart example, the heart shape right here in the background. So, like I say, that yeah, the heart in the background that may say for love, but still that if we come to that situation to where that maybe somebody that we don't really even know, and let's just say that if she came across what I was working on just from on my profile it is, but still, I know that drawing this example right here, and want to know just a little bit of that too, to where that how is it that somebody else is going to have feelings for me? Maybe that if she don't even know me very well. So it seems like that for how it all comes together also, but that whenever I was drawing this, that's really what I want to talk about, is that right there, this right here, is supposed to be an example of, kind of like, somebody that, who was, maybe went to my school, or maybe that was working somewhere, and she was able to meet me somehow. And so, yeah, that the way I went and drew up my picture right there is like almost like that I was trying to get something off my mind if I was, stressed out over something, or if it was anything that was related to that, something to talk about. But still, though, that but how many of us would probably say that, if you're going to be drawing a picture just to kind of express your feelings, so, and maybe that you would include like a little note on the side, for like a letter, such as yeah, that something that maybe that you just want to talk about. You say if it's it's a private, or something like that, or if it's anything related to about any problems that matter that you want somebody to talk to you about. So I say, yeah, a supporter. But still, I know whenever I was drawing this picture, I was also thinking too, if you were to actually hold somebody's hand, then exactly about the type of support that you can give them. And I know that that sometimes if that's how, besides holding your ear, I'm like, about how often are you really going to see that? Somebody's going to maybe be holding you, by the ear or by the nose. I'm like, if somebody's going to be holding you by the ear or by the nose, that maybe the chances are that they're mad. I guess you could say that. Well, just like giving you a spanking, if somebody were to be holding you by the ear with their fingers, holding you by the ear, then chances are that they're mad at you. And I say, yeah, but if they're going to be holding you by the hand, I say holding you by the arm with both hands, and holding you by the arm. And I guess it's like a way to say this is to walk with me side by side, walk with me. And so yeah, that, and I remember that back when I was in middle school, that a lot of ladies would tell me too that, you're mocking me. I'm like, yeah, exactly. What exactly does mocking mean? And all, any other words that talk about relationship, about, whenever you're going to be talking to the ladies and the guys up there at the school back whenever you're young, that some of them that might use the word expression such as, you're mocking me. And I guess that means is that you're following up for what they're doing. Or I'm like, yeah, that you're. but anyway, I know that whenever I was drawing this, I was mainly thinking about is to where that you'll use this as an example right here of somebody who's showing feelings for me. So yeah, that whenever I'm was working on this drawing right here that during the time that I was drawing this, is like say that that the number of times that if I were to be thinking and to say if there was somebody there who is actually listening, and I guess that maybe that is, that this maybe would be kind of example right here of a moment to where that somebody who was listening and somebody who had feelings for me and anything that I want to talk about, anything that you want to talk about, and so that's a little bit of reasons why that maybe if you go ahead and draw a picture of showing you as if you're going to be holding this person's hand and talking about certain things. But still, that I know that that with anything about what's called picture drawings right here, that if you're going to be drawing something, and I want to know just a little of that too, that you're going to be drawing something that you're going to maybe remember, to put the time on there, just to know about, okay, what time was it that you were to be writing this letter about the problem and any source of support that you might get later on. And so anybody who's going to be struggling with anything, or anybody who's going to maybe be thinking as to where that they want to get their attention somehow and knowing about what they're going to do just to be able to get their attention. And what I mean by attention, is to where they try to get people to focus on them and then give them what you call that special treatment. And do I really think that special treatment is really going to be what you call a kiss? I'm like, ladies, you one or two that about how often are they going to kiss the gentleman? I want to say that, for if they really want to show that source of a companionship and just knowing about how old are the ladies' eyes going to be as to where if they offer to try to kiss a lady, and want to know just a little bit of that too. That, if they say, a real kiss, but still though that some relationships that would start out by saying is toward that that's the person's job to be able to give them as much support as they can. But let's just say the relationship is going to be about is toward that to keep the connection, and let's just say that toward that the situation goes by is toward you have a special connection with this person, with this partner, and so that kind of goes by saying that. And so whenever I was drawing this right here, I was mainly shown right here is the type of a support that whenever I, there's like is toward it that somebody that I might meet one of these days, like if you say that I say like a little bit of Lacey McAllister, but let's just say that if this person who's going to be sitting next to me and listening to what I say, let's just say that if she is maybe finally, let's just say that maybe if she was maybe studying for maybe be a doctor or somebody like that, or maybe a reader, I'm like somebody who's working at the bookstore or somewhere like that, and she's so no, I'm like, anything about what's called psychology, I guess, if you want to kind of call it like a little bit of psychology, that somebody who's showing companionship and support about what the problem is, and as well as that if you're really struggling with trying to get something right, and you one or two as to where you didn't think that maybe the job was right for you just because of this reason or just because of that reason. And I'm sure we've come to that situation too. So you thought that you can handle it, but then you can't. But then knowing about that, the amount of support that you can get, and that's the way I think about too. That whenever I was drawing this, I was drawing this toward that if there was somebody be holding me by the hand, and then 102 is toward it. So I know that there's something about in person that shows what you call that source of support and companionship. Because if you're going to be talking to somebody maybe by message or something like that, and then it's possible they're not going to quite understand what the problem is until that you actually talk to them in person. And until that they're able to realize that the full all the details about the situation. But still though that I know that whenever I was drawing this, though, at the time it seemed like that, really, though, that why do we really have to rely on the internet just to be able to get a lot of this support 24 hours a day? So let's just say that, if you really want somebody to talk to you, and if you really need somebody to talk to, like I heard before, that you have a, you know, that it's like the robot something like any mobile apps. I'm like there's what you call these robotic apps that you can download to your phone where you have be able to talk to a robotic therapist, a robotic doctor about any problems it is. And I know like Alexia. I'm like I'm familiar with a lot of that even on Amazon, but still that I know that. Any source of support that we might get also, and so that's just a thing. That whenever I was working on this drawing right here, that's really what I was putting together right there. Was showing about that if you really wanted to get something off your mind and maybe somebody to talk to, and say you hold them maybe by that hold it, they're going to hold your hand and. You start talking about something, and so you say, whenever you talk to somebody in person, then maybe if it, you get a better idea, understanding about what you're struggling with, and I know that, especially if you're going to be at a job interview, there are a lot of things that were not quite understood from before at the beginning, and so so I know that the way I drew this right here is that. Right there is if somebody were to be will be patting me on the shoulder and then holding my arm and holding my hand. It is holding my hand and then they're going to say that you start talking about stuff that's on your mind and all that. But really though that I guess whenever I was drawing this, I guess I was drawing in the details right there of somebody that maybe I didn't quite know during a time. And let's say whenever you meet them in person, then it seems like that that you don't know each other very well until that they explain you the details about well, we know each other very well online, but just whenever we meet in person, it seems like everything's so totally different. Why is that the case? Why is it that whenever you meet online that your identity is totally different compared to in person? And I guess is your identity the same in person compared to what it is online, and as well as using other apps it is, but still that's something we could think about too. Is that whenever you're going to be getting support by somebody and want to know just a little of that too is to where that really though that whenever you start connecting, whenever you do meet somebody in person and they're going to ask you the questions as to where that something that happened a long time ago that you really were not able to figure out, or that people weren't, to where that you seem really upset about something the last time we talked, or about that letter that I'm trying to understand what the letter says. But anyway, but you got right there is like, with that drawing right there. And I know that with the drawing, noted that's really what I was working on, is that, if I, whenever I was drawing this, I was actually drawing this toward it, the details right there. If I was mad about, if I wanted to talk to somebody about an issue, a problem it was, but still that I know that, any source of support that we do get, and likely Warren too, just a little bit about that, in person. There's something about you say in person, but really though that love can come in many ways, huh? But still, the type of love that I guess what you want to call is to where that people that you're not really related to, but then you're connected to them. So as I say, if they're going, I guess really how are you going to be able to meet? And what are the best ways of how to meet people, even professionals and maybe other family members? What's the best way of how to meet other people? Especially though that you may have met somebody. It's possible that you met somebody at the airport, and so it seems like that the number of ways of and the best experiences about how we meet people. And like I'm thinking too that really though, that has there been a time to where that possibility that you may have met somebody, by maybe if it is by accident, maybe if it was a somebody that walked into the wrong room, if you would have walked into the meeting room whenever you were not supposed to, so so it seems like that those embarrassing, you were not supposed to enter that part of the building unless if you were staff or whatever. I'm like, yeah, exactly. About how people can really explain their story about how they meet somebody. That you walked into the wrong side of the building, or you met somebody whenever you were cleaning the bathroom, or maybe if you were in there in the lounge or somewhere like that, and that's how you met this person. So it's like, whenever I guess if you want to call happy incidents that happen, and sometimes it's like, you're wondering too that really though that maybe not all incidents are going to happen to where that, if that was what you call the right way or the wrong way of how to do that is, but still that I know that people may think too that really are you really supposed to be properly trained just to be able to learn how to do something? And sometimes though, whenever you do mess up once or twice, and then you get mad about that, and then also that somebody there that want to know just a little bit too, that they show more companionship, and then the first question you may want to where that why the special treatment? Well, we don't even know each other very well, and let's just say that if you're going somewhere, if you're going to maybe a car lot or somewhere like that, maybe shopping around, maybe for a television set or somewhere, and somebody offers you maybe a candy bar, or maybe a cookie, or maybe a cup of coffee or something like that, and maybe offers you a donut. Yeah, dude, you want a donut or something like you walk into a barber shop or somewhere like that one morning, and then somebody offers you something to snack on. And I want to know just a little bit of that too, that why the special treatment, huh? But anyway, I know that anything that we're going to be experiencing, and let's just say that any other source of support that we might experience too, anything that's special treatment. But one thing that in case that somebody says is to where that this person I may meet in the future, though it might tell me is to where that it's possible they might tell me that they feel that they owe me something. That's why that maybe that they feel that they should support me a little bit more, and they have a better understanding about what I've been working on these past couple of weeks. So so I know that we come to those moments as to where that we may think that somebody's going to be mistreating you, or somebody's going to be anything else that they feel that they thought that maybe they done wrong or something like that, or just trying to get the whole matter straight. It is, but anyway, but that's one of the reasons why I was working on this drawing right here, and I found this drawing in all the other drawings that I was looking at earlier, and so I came across this, and it was like that I even did some Photoshop work with this, but really though that this right here was supposed to represent what's called a type of support, and I know that have right here the details right here of if I were to be with the shoes on, but still though that in case if anybody asks me that exactly about who's that person that you got drawn right there, I'm like, well, it's supposed to be. I'm like, whenever you meet some, how do you want to start the conversation at first? You want to say something like if you want to start from the beginning, you start by that. If you're a student, or maybe if you are a business person, or if you recently wrote a book, called that cooking's guide or something like something about cooking, or it could also maybe be about that if you recently bought a house somewhere around town, or something like that. But anyway, anything is like that talks about support, huh? But the way I think about it too, that case you say, I did a lot of that with crayon, but So that right there was supposed to be like a lady right here, and want to know just a little bit of that too. That really the best ways of how we want to describe shy, and you warned too that really would you be more shy or would the lady be more shy? But I'm like, well, really though that if there is a moment of time, I don't know if we've all thought about that, is to where there's going to be a moment of time to where that you can see your reflection in the person's eyes. And what exactly does that mean whenever you can see the person's reflection in the person's eyes? Does that mean that they are looking at you, or does that mean that maybe that they got tears in their eyes that's reflecting off the light? And so you're likely one or two that a person's eyes is not really supposed to maybe show the natural color. It's also supposed to show is to where that, yeah, well, if the person really has bright, intelligent feelings for the other person, it's possible that you can actually see the reflection in the eyes. Yep. And half the time, it seems like that if you can see your reflection in the person's eyes, or if you can see the reflection somewhere around that person, and you would think is too that that's how you know that they are looking at you and listening, and want to know just a little bit of that too is to like, you are something else. But yeah, still that I know that if you're going to be talking, and half the time. You're like thinking too is to where the doctor's degree, and if it's psychology, or if it's anything about what's called nursing aid or something like that, and well, no, just a little bit of that too. That really though, that I guess that career path really though, that even chemistry, that I want to know about what a lot of times what the girls like, the types of interest that that gets in the girls, and then the type of interest for guys. But I know that. With most of the time, with most support that we do get, and half the time, you're talking about that people that you do talk to, that they may not be related to you, but still though that if they're willing to show as much support as they can. But I guess maybe next it goes by is toward okay. Really though, anybody who really needs to have answers, that's the first thing they're going to say is that that's their job. That's their job, to be able to get information, just to be able to get it all straightened out, get it all arranged and all that. Like anything that comes to where any source of information that they collect, that's their job. But still though, that how often is somebody really going to say something about that? Okay, well, I'm really concerned on the matter, or I really have feelings for you about what's going on. And so, yeah, whenever you have faith, and whenever you have feelings for somebody, then really, in case they say that, yeah, whenever they're looking at you, eye to eye, and sometimes you may not want to admit right away about one of the reasons why you sent that greeting card was because. Like the reason why you sent that greeting card, you didn't tell them because you wanted to apologize, or that you wanted to invite them over for dinner. You said that something about that since it's the holidays or something like that, or just say that just to say hi. So yeah, that if you were going to give somebody something, and let's just say that they looked at you and approached you and want to know, okay, what is it that you want to talk to me about? Like, well, I didn't really have anything really to talk. So yeah, I know sometimes though that whenever you come to those moments as to where that you don't really give somebody something right away, or you don't really talk to somebody about something right away, and like they say too that really that why is it they had to be delayed, and why is it that you had to wait until later? But really though, sometimes the answer seems to be all about is toward it whenever people are too busy to listen, then it seems like when people are too busy, that it seems like that they don't have 100% of the concentration on what's going on. As I say, yeah. So as I say, yep. Whenever, if that's at least what somebody like me would ask for, is that almost all the time that the lines are busy and all that. So you really want to have somebody to talk to. during the times that that this other person won't talk. And so it seems like that, in case they may say, would I recommend drawing a picture of somebody, in my imagination? Would I recommend drawing a picture of somebody and actually talking to them? And it's like, yeah, talking to a puppet. And would that make you feel a little bit better whenever you're able to talk to a puppet? Even though if a dog or a cat or a puppet can't really talk back, doesn't make you feel better just to be able to talk about your feelings to a puppet. As I say, you're just thinking that possibility that there's going to be somebody there until you're able to talk to an actual person, and that's how you're going to be able to remember all the details. That's how you're going to be able to remember all the details, as whenever you actually are able to talk to this puppet until you memorized all of the notes of what you want to talk about until you actually talk to a person. So it seems like, yeah, there's no reason to maybe have it written all over your hands or so, and let's just say that, yeah. And you say if you want to take notes about something, and then are you really going to write on your hands and say that, yeah, well, what do you think that this person will be looking at your hands for? Like say, are they going to be looking for anything about what's called scars or anything like that, or tattoos? But other than that's how they're able to show their connection as well. But you love and support all that. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Talk about the type of the support that we give to one another, knowing about understanding about that. Say the purpose about in person. 4:30 though, and in case they say that 4:30. It's like 4:30 is usually around the time. I like say whenever that that's going to be what's called a time on schedule, to where that somebody brings you a sandwich, or if it's anything, maybe a copy, or just to check up about if it's maybe the morning call or something like that. But anyway. But mainly though, that something something it's like but every morning or every afternoon or so around 4:30, that's going to remind you of to check something or to do something, and one of those, if anything, just to keep on remembrance about that. Say for anything else that needs to be done. But anyway, but thanks for talking about for in-person support. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.